Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Now today we're going to be taking a look at and talking about something a bit special which you can probably see over my left shoulder. This is the brand new SimLab P1X Ultimate Sim Racing Cockpit. Now SimLab have arguably been the market leader in the sim racing cockpit market for a number of years, and you might wonder why they've decided to bring out yet another cockpit. Well, in this video I'm going to try and explain why, talk you through the build process for the P1X Ultimate, and give you my opinion. But before I do, the necessary disclosure. I am an ambassador for SimLab, and SimLab sent me this cockpit for free. But I think it's important to say that, like many of you watching this video, I've been a SimLab customer for years, way before I was an ambassador, and I've always been a fan of SimLab products. But SimLab don't have any creative control of this video, and they don't get to see it before you do. But I have made the decision to mark this video up as paid promotion on YouTube, as I was sent this item for free, but it's not a sponsored video. So, as I mentioned, I've been a SimLab customer for years, and I've used the original P1X for quite some time. However, the P1X cockpit was assembled using these corner brackets, which I'm sure you've all seen before. One bit of profile attaches to one side, another bit of profile to the other side, bolt them together, Bob's your uncle. But when the P1X Pro came along, those things were a thing of the past, as the P1X Pro had pre-drilled holes in the profile, and the whole thing was assembled without the need for any corner brackets. But the P1X Pro had a few other design differences to its predecessor. The finish on the P1X Pro was like a smooth matte black, and the two center slots on the profile had been removed, and the wheel deck uprights had been angled back towards the driver. Now, these changes from the original P1X gave the P1X Pro a super sleek look, but having less slots on the profile and the angled uprights made attaching other things to the rig, such as button boxes, etc., a bit more challenging. So SimLab have listened to feedback and made some changes. Those missing slots on the profile have been restored, and the wheel deck uprights are now vertical, giving us back the ability to easily attach other peripherals. And I'm delighted to say that the pre-drill profile remains from the P1X Pro. So with the Ultimate, there's no need for any corner brackets. But the cherry on top of the cake for me is the coating on the profile. It's gone from being a smooth black finish to a black finish with a little bit of texture, which is much more resistant to scratches. Now, no matter which sim racing cockpit you go for, it's much better to buy once and cry once, as the cockpit is the most important part of your setup. At first, you might be putting entry-level kit on there, but at some point, almost certainly, you're going to be considering wheelbases with much more torque or pedals with a 200 kilo load cell. Now, if you don't have a substantial cockpit to start with, you're going to run into troubles down the line with flex from your wheel deck, your pedal tray or seat mounts. Get the right cockpit to start with, and that will stay with you for years to come. So when you get the rig delivered, it will arrive in numerous boxes, and inside you will find all the pieces of aluminium profile, all individually wrapped, along with all the Allen bolts, washers, etc. Now, this point of the build can be a little bit daunting no matter which rig you buy, but you've just got to dive in, unbox everything, set everything out so you can see what's what. Now, with the P1X Ultimate, there are no instructions in the box, but SimLab do have a comprehensive library of instruction manuals for you to download and use for the build. So regarding the build, first up, you build the main cockpit chassis and then add the rest of the cockpit to it, such as the seat rails, wheel deck uprights, wheel deck and pedal tray. But my advice at this point would be to install your seat and just loosely fasten the wheel deck so you can then adjust everything later and tighten it all down when you're happy. As moving the wheel deck upright when they have the wheel deck attached can be quite difficult, but the process is pretty straightforward and easily done by one person. However, mounting a wheelbase, especially a direct drive wheelbase, can be a little bit tricky on your own, as you've got to hold it with one hand and tighten it down with the other. And in my particular case, on this rig, I installed sliders for both the pedal tray and seat. which can be quite time consuming, just getting everything lined up and fastened down, but generally pretty straightforward. So in my case, I opted for the integrated triple Vario monitor mount, which keeps the rig nice and clean and frees up some valuable floor space. Now, over the years, people have always championed for having a separate monitor stand to prevent any movement in the monitors when using a direct drive wheelbase. But I've been using integrated monitor stands for a few years now and don't notice any movement at all when driving. In fact, my face cam is attached to the monitor stand, which is attached to the rig, and when I've watched my footage back, I can't notice any movement at all. But whichever monitor mount you go for, the SimLab Vario kit is essential. This enables you to perfectly line up your monitors, and you've got adjustability on 3 axis. And it is handy at this point to have a small spirit level handy just to make sure everything is lined up and square. So I'll give you some real world dimensions and what footprint to expect if you get a rig like mine. So from the front of the rig, which is pushed up against the wall, it's approximately 150 centimeters to the furthest point at the back of the seat. Now, I'm 5'10", so if you're a little bit shorter than me, that number will obviously be a little bit lower. The width of the rig at the widest point is 60 centimeters, but if you're using an integrated monitor mount like I am with 27-inch screens, at the widest point, which is the profile behind each monitor, it's approximately 145 centimeters with the monitors at 60 degrees. Now, there is a reason why SimLab are a market leader when it comes to cockpits. Many years of R&D have gone into the P1X Ultimate, and it clearly shows. I own the P1X, I own the P1X Pro, and now I own the P1X Ultimate, all of which are superb, but when you put them side by side, you can clearly see the evolution of this cockpit. What you end up with is a superb looking cockpit, which is also super functional and not an angle bracket in sight. So let's talk price. Now, the P1X Ultimate will set you back £785. That's for the cockpit alone. Now, if you wanted it with the integrated triple monitor stand like I have, it's £1,046. Are they the cheapest cockpit out there? No. But are they the best? Well, in my opinion, yes, they are. I've bought numerous cockpits over the years, which have all been and gone. If you bought the P1X Ultimate, I couldn't see any reason why you would need to change this out for something else down the line. And if you wanted to save a few quid, you could use my affiliate link linked down below in the description, where you can save 5% by using the code DaveCam5. But you can also use that code on any SimLab equipment and save 5% across the board. So I want to say a huge thank you to SimLab for sending this cockpit out and enabling me to share my thoughts with you guys. Hopefully this video helps you make a decision on which cockpit to buy. But if you've got any specific questions about what we've covered in this video, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments section, and I'll do my very best to help where I can. But as always, thanks for watching. Have a great week. See you later. Cheers.